Passion, respect and teamwork are core values we aspire to in the sports field. Our preparation to improving results in performances which we can be proud of.
I have learned to admire the positive attitude of my friends, pushing themselves to excel.
Traditional sports form the backbone of our program.
We encourage our teammates to persevere and focus, but most importantly, to enjoy themselves. We dare to believe in ourselves and strive for the reward.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to check if our head of sport is here. Okay, seems to be kicked out again. That's fine. We're going to get it rolling and hopefully he will join us through our session. I am the sports administrator at Woodridge College, and Berenice over here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Berenice Chabanel and I'm the head girl for 2021.
Hi, Bulu. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm Bulumuka Adam. I'm the deputy head boy as well as the head of hostel for Polo Hostel.
Fantastic. Just to let everybody know before we get started, if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. I will read them aloud and we can get going. Hello, Mr. Ricky Gerber.
Good evening. Sorry, technical difficulties again.
I've got a few questions from the previous chat. I think I'll start rolling with those just in case, and then as soon as new ones come through, we'll get going with those. Let's start off with, how strong is the tennis at Woodridge College?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ricky Gerber. I'm the head of sport at Woodridge, or Woodridge College, should I say. With regards to the question with regard to tennis, tennis I would consider to be strong. We enter the Eastern Province Tennis League. We play all the high schools in the local league, and we have 6 girls sides and 4 boys sides. So we definitely are able to compete from that level. So I would say our tennis is definitely up there.
Great. I have a lot of traditional sports. We have traditional sports, our cricket, our rugby, hockey. I think, Berenice, would you like to just dive into the life-saving and that side of things?
Sure. So Woodridge Lifesaving Club is the only club in the world that has a lifesaving club for school. We have about 50 odd members this year. We have about 20 new recruits from grade 8 to 9. It's a voluntary service that we do on a Sunday. During the summer seasons, you get put into squads and then you do one duty a month. So then compete in EC champs and SA champs, where we have various very serious competitors who often get a gold or silver or bronze at SA champs. Otherwise, life-saving is probably one of the best opportunities one can get at Woodridge.
Fantastic. Ricky, would you like to ask any questions to Bula?
Yeah, I just think I've obviously joined the meeting late, but I think parents, if you feel free to answer any questions, please do, or to ask us any questions, please do. We would love to help, assist you with queries. But just to keep the meeting rolling, I will ask Bulu a question here. Bulu, what do you think has been the most challenging part of being a sportsman at Goodrich for you?
Really realizing, because I'm very competitive, and realizing that winning is not really everything. The growth and the process as a team really is probably like the most important aspect in sport. That really changed my view on sports really.
We've got 2 questions here. When is the next tour to the UK?
When COVID is over. Yeah, we obviously haven't done a tour to the UK in quite a long time. I think the last tour was potentially a cricket tour to the UK in 2010. We did look at going across to Amsterdam last year with 2 hockey sides, our first in girls and boys hockey sides. We're looking at going across to the Netherlands, but that obviously didn't happen. But it definitely is on the cards to extend our touring map to the UK again. Yeah.
Fantastic. Grade 8s have chosen their main sport and their secondary sport options. My understanding is the main sport option is compulsory and the second is elective. Is this correct?
So we obviously, every child at Woodridge has to play a sport in both summer and winter, and they need to attend sport. There are 2 compulsory sessions per week. If, for instance, a child is doing cricket as their first choice and outdoor education as the second choice, they would need to be ensuring that they are attending all their cricket sessions, and when they have an off or free day, they can then attend their second choice sport. If they're not going to be in an A side or in a competitive side, then there's always the option for a conversation between both coaches or staff members from OE and cricket. So for the kid to say, listen, so cricket is my first choice, however, I would like to concentrate more on my outdoor education, then there's always a conversation that is able to be had, where staff will meet kids halfway and allow them to attend both as equally as possible.
Great. Okay. For girls cricket, do they play on their own or do they get to play together? Okay, I'll take. I'm the head of girls cricket at Woodridge College, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Started this year, and we all play together. I believe the girls should be forming their own teams. It's very competitive. There's so much opportunity for the girls going forward. And at the moment, we've got a full side. We're actually encroaching on 2 sides at the moment, so we're getting super competitive. And that is our goal going forward. So the girls are really enjoying it, getting really high performance, training the same amount of time as the boys do. So really, really focusing on building girls cricket at Woodridge College, which I think is very unique. I know most schools, the girls have to filter into the boys system, but yeah, we're taking them very seriously. So it's exciting. Okay, how is the netball at Woodridge?
I'll take that one. Our netball is definitely on the growth at Woodridge. I would say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, we only managed to put out 3 or 4 sides, maybe 1 side per age group, and at the moment we have about 9 or 10 sides. We're looking at over 3 sides per age group at the moment, which is fantastic. Netball is definitely growing. We've got some fantastic coaches. We've got a national coach that coaches our Israel Neville. So at Woodridge, netball is very much on its way up to joining the top tier sports that we do offer.
Awesome. Are college students limited to only 2 sports per season?
Yeah, so it's tough. Obviously now during a COVID time, we're not playing any external fixtures or really any weekend fixtures. So at the moment, we are allowing kids to take part in as much as possible. But during a normal competitive season, one would often struggle to play 2 sports in summer, if not more than 2 sports. If one just looks at, for instance, boys cricket and boys water polo, they are on different days. However, their matches, if you're in the A side for both, are both on Saturdays. So it's very, very tough to play at a competitive level to play more than 2 sports just because purely of the clashes.
Perfect. Is there a possibility of soccer returning to Woodridge as a sport? And I'm just going to add this in there, and is diving offered? So soccer and diving.
So diving is not offered. We don't have the facility for it. Our main aquatic sport is water polo. So that is definitely our main focus during summer for both boys and girls. From a soccer perspective, it is definitely something that is being spoken about. I don't want to make any promises or to say anything undue here, but it definitely is something that is on the cards. It's being looked at. We've always had soccer, well, not always, but we've had soccer the last, I'd say, 7 or 8 years. And obviously last year during COVID, there was no winter season, so we didn't play then. And we did remove it off our sports program purely due to the fact that it was taking away a lot of our rugby players to play soccer and weren't able to fill rugby sides. But it is a decision that is under review and will be seriously looked at going forward.
10 seconds, Mr. Cabot. Do the pupils have a chance to play league hockey in PE?
If they are day scholars, 100% yes. If they are boarders, we have a sports club that play hockey from Woodridge. So they're more than welcome to play for Woodridge. We have a sports club, so they can play league hockey through Woodridge at school.
Fantastic. In this COVID time, will you be having any sport for 2021? So we are currently at the moment, we have a summer sport program going on, obviously all with COVID protocols, making sure that that is all in line. But we do have cricket going, water polo, tennis. We've got all of the traditional summer sports that we do offer. They are on the run at the moment. Berenice, Bulumko, are you guys involved in any of those sports that are happening?
in the water polo side of it, and then we start our life saving. Water polo, we've been playing internal matches for the past 2 to 3 weeks. We're doing our first team buildings and just training camps in general.
Fantastic. So at the moment, because there's the COVID protocols, no obviously external matches, but they're doing a lot of internal matches and really building up the spirit, and it's been really looking great. We have a question here. If pupils are boarding at Woodridge and they have sport outside of school during the week, are pupils allowed to leave and come back? I would need Mr. Ricky Kaba. Are you, Bernice, can you answer?
You can definitely. If obviously they need transport, but obviously sometimes, like for example, I play water polo league as a first team. We play at Alex on a Thursday evening. Then we'd go take the school bus for that. But if it's a private type of sport, then often a parent would come fetch, or we can try organize school transport, which comes with a cost.
At the end of that, I think all sports commitments are really encouraged. School sport obviously comes at the front line, but any sports other than that, if there's arrangements made and the right protocols are taken, then definitely encouraged. Mr. Ricky Kaba, would you like to answer your question that was posed to you?
Sorry, I got cut out from Bulu's question after the first sentence. Bulu, would you like to repeat the question?
So I was asking, how has your view changed on sport from a player's point of view to a coach's?
It's a very good question. So I played a lot of provincial sport at school. Obviously very competitive, still am very competitive. But just like when kids learn certain values in sport, you definitely learn these too as a coach as well. You start to appreciate a lot more of the smaller moments, and you get a lot more joy out of seeing a team progress or a certain play improve, rather more so than you would have when you were actually playing the game. I think when you're playing the game, you get a lot more frustrated with the little things, where as a coach, you get a lot more joy, and you feel that you're actually making a difference in the little things. So I think my view has definitely changed on sport by being involved from the coaching side, and also obviously being involved as the head of sport. It's obviously opened a view for me for many other sports that I didn't necessarily play while I was at school. So sport, obviously, I think it's a phenomenal tool and something to do in life, but it definitely does change the more you get stuck in and the more you get involved, even from an umpiring point of view or to a coaching point of view or to a playing point of view. There's always different sorts of things that get you more passionate about the game and passionate about sport.
Mr. Gerber, is swimming recognized as a bigger summer sport? So it says at Woodridge. So do we offer swimming as one of the biggest summer sports?
Unfortunately not. We do not offer swimming as a summer sports choice. Water polo is our main aquatics choice, and we do not offer swimming, purely due to the fact that there is not any just with regards to swimming, purely due to the fact that there is no school competitive league for the swimming. All competitive swimming is done through club. So if kids would like to do swimming at a competitive level, they can join a club. Yeah.
I really like this question, so I want to get it done. How much emphasis is placed on soft skills of sport versus merely playing to win?
I think we could both answer that, Ms. Martin, but purely from my side, winning is not the entire end goal for us at Woodridge. We are competitive, yes, but we definitely do focus more on our enjoyment factor and ensuring that all our kids get to compete and enjoy themselves. Winning is not the be all and end all. Obviously, win to win. It's nice to play, but we definitely do focus as winning as our main priority. Ms. Martin, anything you want to add about soft skills?
We speak about it quite often is when you have the right protocols in place and players and students really actually enjoy the sport, the winning will come naturally. It's not something you should be focused on. It should actually be an end result. So through the process of enjoying sport, through the process of having students like Bulu and Berenice that live for Woodridge sport, that's where the winning will start to come, because they'll play for the school, they'll play for the badge and HA. So it's really exciting. Can you start horseback riding in grade 8 or any new sport that like water polo, etc.? So non-traditional sports in the sense.
Yes, so we have a wide variety of sport options. Equestrian pursuits is definitely one of them from grade 8 through to matric. And you can play more than one sport at Woodridge. So if you'd like to do equestrian and water polo, you are more than welcome to. We just need to ensure that there aren't no clashes. And if there are, that it's fully communicated between both the staff member involved and the child.
Does Woodridge offer dance?
We do not offer dance as part of our offering program, but there is private dance lessons that do take place on the Woodridge campus, so they are able to join those. I saw a question, if I don't mind answering, about swimming, if
Sure.
the child doesn't know how to swim. If you could just read the question to me.
Will they teach you to swim in grade 8 if you do not know how to swim?
Yes, so we have a Learn to Swim program, which kids can sign up for if they don't know how to swim. This is an extra addition to our sports program. It is not a first choice sport, so they would need to choose their first choice sport in summer, and then they can always choose the Learn to Swim program as an additional, which they can then attend after school hours and do the full Learn to Swim with qualified coaches.
We've got 50 seconds here, so this will be the last question. So does Woodridge have its own swim club, or do we have to join? Or will pupils be allowed to maintain at the club they are already in?
Berenice, would you like to answer this? You're involved in aquatics.
So I'm not involved in the swimming, obviously part of it, but I play a lot of water polo and I'm part of the Lifesaving team. So being part of the hostel, I do try at least use the facilities every day, and I do try to get some training every day. I think hostel is a huge advantage as the pool is open. There will always be someone on duty there in case of emergency. If you would like to still be part of, for example, PEA or Aquabear or any type of club, we do fully support any swimmers. You'll always have the school's support for anything you do.
Parents that are on the ball. What does a typical week look like in terms of number of practices, time, training, etc.?
I think I'll answer that one. So at the beginning of a season, every child of Woodridge is required to choose a sport. They may choose more than one sport. Per sport, you will practice a minimum of 2 times per week. Practices start from as early as 2:45, and then they end just in time for the buses. The buses leave at 20 to 5, so practices end at 4:30. If you are in an A side, there are more than likely going to be more than 1 practice sessions per week. And if you're in the hostel, then those practice sessions do often go all the way through to 5 o'clock or sometimes past 5 o'clock.
Awesome. Hi, is tennis a school sport?
Ms. Martin, would you like to answer that one?
Is it school sport? And it's quite a large sport at that. It's how many teams do we have, Ms. Gerber?
We have over 6 girls tennis teams that play in the league, and we have 4 boys teams that play in the league, but we do have a lot of social tennis players as well. I would say we've probably got about 40 boys registered for tennis and very close to 60 girls registered for tennis.
Great stuff. Do the girls play rugby? Also, can you speak to the equestrian program, or is that separate?
The girls do not play rugby. I can speak somewhat to the equestrian program. However, it's not my department, but I can definitely try to help you with the question if you have one.
So probably is the equestrian does fall as one of our sports. You need to commit at least 2 sessions a week, just like any other sport you would need to. If you want to do equestrian off the premises, you would then need to commit some kind of time to the equestrian center or do another sport in conjunction with that. If the girls would like to play rugby, maybe they would like to play cricket. Girls cricket is going. We are really promoting that at the moment, but I think the girls hockey is in the winter. What other winter sports do we have, Mr. Gerber, for the ladies?
Netball and hockey in the winter for the girls. Yeah.
Is there squash?
Unfortunately, so there definitely is squash at Woodridge. We play squash in both summer and winter. We also entered into the leagues. Just to get back to the girls rugby question, I'm not entirely sure whether there is a ladies rugby league in the Eastern Province, but if there is one, it's definitely something worth researching and possibly having a look at seeing if we could maybe enter a girls side into that league.
Fantastic. Squash, we have great facilities, 2 courts, lots of space. Do you still offer swimming?
We do not offer swimming as a first choice sport in summer. Water polo is our main aquatics choice. And then if kids are very, very passionate swimmers, we do have a reservation for them to attend any training facility or programs outside of our sports program.
Berenice, when is the water polo season?
So normally our water polo season runs from January to about March. And then we'll start again in about September, October, and go all the way through to the end of term. So we'll go from term 1 and term 3, which is our summer seasons.
Fantastic. We have here, sorry, do you still offer synchronized swimming and diving?
No, we do not.
Facilities don't allow for us to. Do we have drum majorettes?
Unfortunately, this is the sports department. You would have to direct that question through to the cultural department in their breakaway room.
I know we do have marimbas, but I haven't seen too many drum majorettes there. We are out of questions from the... Yes, we do. Do we want to get Bulu on the chat here?
Ma'am.
I think Mr. Ricky Gerber has a question for you.
I've got a question for you, Bulu. Bulu, what is your fondest memory of sport at Woodridge in your 5 years that you've been here?
From a personal point of view, or as a Woodridge?
Your fondest memory, yeah.
Really watching watching our team grow, as in our rugby team grow since under 14. Our results weren't the greatest, but as the years progressed, we grew as a team and we grew as a unit really, and playing to our strengths. That is probably like the most is the best thing to see as a sportsman. It's not all about me because I'm not the only one on the field. We play as a team, we win as a team, we lose as a team.
Yeah, great answer. Berenice, I want to throw in similar to you, if you haven't got any other questions there, Ms. Martin. What is your favorite sports fixture at Woodridge?
I think definitely the water polo season is one of the best. So when we go play Alex Girls Festival, I think that's a good fixture for us because water polo at Woodridge is still very much growing. And I think when we go there, I think it builds our confidence. And then the week after, we normally go to Chaka Festival in Knysna, which is probably the best ever. We play in the Knysna waterfront. So, yeah.
That's exciting. Do you have any questions there, Ms. Martin?
Not at the moment. Nothing's coming through.
Parents, please feel free to ask us any questions related to sport, and hopefully we can answer them and help you.
Maybe I could speak about lifesaving again.
Fantastic.
You're more than welcome to.
That are interested, obviously, Woodridge is the only school club in the whole entire world that has a surf lifesaving club. We compete at EC champs and SA champs, and we do voluntary duties once a month during the summer seasons in St. Francis as a squad.
Awesome. While you're on the line, Berenice, here's a question for you. Are there any water polo tournaments in the period from September to December?
Definitely, especially if you're playing in the A sides. For example, the first team girls, we will often go to Clarendon Stairs, which is in East London. Or 2 years ago, we went to Co-eds in Grahamstown at Kingswood. But we definitely do try to get as many fixtures as we can. I do think, however, that our biggest water polo season is the busiest month is about in February.
Fantastic. So that's what you're currently doing, currently training. Are you enjoying it?
Loving it, as always.
Do you do any extra training in the mornings, or is it just afternoon training?
So we train on a Monday and a Wednesday at the moment, obviously, because there's no big fixtures. We play on a Monday and a Wednesday afternoon. We play about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then on a Tuesday and Thursday morning, we have morning training from about 6 to 6:30. And then obviously the facilities are open for us to use whenever we'd like.
Fantastic, everyone. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.